What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back for yet another album review for you guys. I'm here to talk about one that I was curious about, considering, surprisingly, I've never listened to a full album from this band, and I know I'm probably going to be called a heretic for it. There's so much music out there, it's hard for me to keep up, but I wanted to give this band a chance since I saw a new album coming out this year. I thought this would be a good time to check this band out, so I'm here to review the 12th studio album from New Orleans, Louisiana sludge metal pioneers, Crowbar, and their new album, Zero and Below. So, a little history about Crowbar. Crowbar went through a bunch of different names and stuff, dating back to 1979, but didn't become Crowbar until about 1989, 1990. And they've been one of the most consistent bands going since, at least as far as putting out material, apart from like a 6-year break between 2005 and 2011. They've been very consistent. According to a lot of people, they're a band that doesn't have a bad release. And of course, I already knew about Crowbar through Kirk Windstein, because Kirk Windstein's a fucking maniac and a beast. So here's my first exposure to a full album of Crowbar with the new one, Zero and Below. So we get things started with The Fear That Binds You. Getting groovy right away, as that riff that starts this track off really moves very well. As the riffs change and slow down a tad, Kirk's vocals come in to bring in more of that pure aggression that he has in his vocal delivery. The verses have this hardcore vibe going on, while the chorus gets into a really killer groove. And even in the bridge, it stays in that groovy pocket, but maintaining a bit of that hardcore sensibility. Basically, groove, doom, and hardcore, you get what we know as sludge. Afterwards, the song slows down to that more doomy side of Crowbar's sound to add more density and atmosphere to bring the song to a close. Her Evil is Sacred, cool build up at the beginning as it goes doomy with the riff and the beats, and then after a dramatic stopping point, gets into another badass riff that just punches us in the face. And the verses carry this feeling of agony, and that feeling carries over even into the chorus as well. After the second chorus, it gets rather dissonant with the riffs, leading to the conclusion of this track. Confess to Nothing, extra heaviness right away with the riff and staying in that doomy pocket. The verses kind of have this balance going on where the riff is doomy, but the drums are building up tension, kind of like in a hardcore build-up somewhat, and then the chorus carries on this like odd feeling in the lyrics about never giving up on yourself. And I say odd considering from what I'm reading in Crowbar lyrics, it just has this more like feelings of agony to it rather than like positivity, which kind of weird considering with sludge metal it's all about either feeling agony or feeling hatred, at least with a lot of the lyrics that I read in a lot of sludge metal bands. So, kind of an odd contrast, but it works, especially with the riffing that's going on this track. Chemical Gods might be one of my favorite songs of the album. Goes back into a killer groove right here at the start, and as well as in the verse, as the riff once again moves along, kind of similar to Pantera a little bit. Then it gets very doomy in the chorus, as it has this like hopeless and cold atmosphere to it. And I love how the verses are catchy and groovy, while the chorus is slow and hopeless sounding. Cool little melodic guitar line after the second chorus to add something a bit more somber as the melodies carry over into really the only like lead of the album. And it's not like a true blue solo, it's just more of this atmospheric lead to kind of bring in more of that somber feeling to this track to bring it to a close. And I love this song for that reason of bringing in more of the melodies into the song. Denial of the Truth, slow and brooding to start things off here, and the riff here at the beginning of this track Kind of sounds like a slower Hooded Menace riff. Some clean vocals even come in on the verse, carrying this dark vibe that we're getting on this track. The chorus gets a bit gritty with how the vocals sound like they're right in between clean and nasty. Definitely, I would say, maybe the most doom-laden track of the album, at least up to this point. But towards the end, things do speed up a little bit as it gets back into a little bit more of that groove that you get on certain parts on the rest of the album. Bleeding from Every Hole, which was the shortest song of the album at just a little over 3 minutes, pretty much this track is mostly hardcore oriented, as it's just in the beginning with a cool heavy bass line, and then into the verse, the riffs and the beats. I mean, it's the D beat, and the riffs kind of have that hardcore sensibility to it. However, the chorus slows down to that sludginess that Crowbar pulls off so well on this album. Nice contrast here between the hardcore verses and the sludgy chorus, and these riffs do not mess around. And even in the bridge, that breakdown, chunky, thick, and vicious, the way I like it. It's all, and then we get into It's Always Worth the Gain. More of those catchy grooves and riffs immediately right off the bat, and the verses and the chorus pretty much stays groovy for the most part. However, in the chorus, you do hear some more melody taking place. Love the drum performance on this track too. Like, the drums are kind of going everywhere for the most part. They don't just stay like locked into sticking to the beat. There's some fills going on here. The bends though, those bends on those guitars, holy shit, dark and nasty it is. And after the bridge stops once again for more of that dramatic effect, things get a little bit more intense to bring the song to a close. Crush Negativity, more gloom and doom right off the bat. This riff here we get is one of the heaviest riffs of the album up to this point. The verses and the chorus maintain that doominess and agony within the riffs and the vocals. The atmosphere here definitely got a little bit darker for my taste, or a little bit darker to my ears, I should say. The bridge does speed back up a little bit more to that hardcore influence to bring in some more aggression, to kind of break up the atmosphere a little bit, to bring in some more aggression. Reanimating a Lie, the riffs we get heading into the verse and the verse itself, more heavy sludginess to it, and I absolutely love the sludgy moments on this whole album. The chorus, definitely dark and doomy. The sludginess here, especially again with those bends, those guitar bends, just scream sludge and nastiness. Once again, back to the hardcore D beats as we go into the bridge, but then as we reach the conclusion, more bends, more sludge, the way I like it from this band right now. And then we get to the finale, the title track, Zero and Below. Probably, in my opinion, the best song of the album, because it's slow and murky and dark and melodic, atmospheric as well. Like, you got atmospheric and melodic guitars right off the bat to kind of set the mood. More of the cleaner vocals comes back pretty much throughout this entire song. And while the riffs are very doomy and murky, yeah, dark melodies show up. And the chorus is even kind of empowering with how Kirk is trying to tell you to find yourself and be yourself, which is pretty cool. These dark melodies carrying the song along just stays dark and brooding. And then towards the end, some beautifully tasteful acoustic guitars come in to just add on to that melody and mood. And the riff changes to feel more melodic while still maintaining a heavy dexterity to it. And the way that the acoustic guitars and the electric guitars kind of complement each other towards the end to bring it to the final section of the acoustics fading away to bring the song and album to a close. So tasteful and wonderful. I just loved how this song and the album ends. So overall, for my first experience with a Crowbar album, I was impressed. I mean, I shouldn't say I was surprised, because I know that this band is pretty consistent based off of what I have heard from them in the past and from fans or friends of mine who love Crowbar. But yeah, this was a fantastic album. Like, I just love the balancing between groove, doom, sludge, and some of that hardcore influence, which, granted, groove, doom, and hardcore is sludge metal for the most part, and boy, does this album get sludgy. Does this album get groovy? Does it get doomy? Absolutely. It basically crosses everything on the checklist that you know that Crowbar is capable of pulling off, and pull it off so well. And even the melodic moments definitely shine on this album, as it just helped enhance the heaviness and the atmosphere on a lot of these tracks. Overall, really no complaints, and even in the production, everything was mixed fairly well. The bass is audible for the most part. The riffs, definitely thick and distorted and dissonant. The drums are very pounding, and Kirk's vocals, holy crap does he unleash. So, overall, damn strong album here. 9 out of 10 I give Zero and Below by Crowbar. I really enjoyed this album top to bottom, and this, I might end up getting it possibly here in the future, because holy crap. These riffs, like I said, do not mess around. They do not miss out on catchiness, and they don't miss out on building atmosphere. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for Zero and Below by Crowbar. What did you guys think of Zero and Below by Crowbar? Let me know in the comments section below. And until next time, horns high, and I will see you in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing ShitTech's brand new Shit Can. This revolutionary on-the-go product will be the biggest savior of your life. Say you're at a hotel that doesn't have any toilets, or you're stranded out in the middle of nowhere as your car breaks down, you can take the ShitTech Shit Can with you if you need to take a dump, piss, or puke whenever you need to.
Yep, you can never go wrong with GIF media files.
You are aware it's pronounced GIF, right?
Oh no, silly, this is a GIF.
Damn it, we don't even have spam in here! Whoa!